Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends and let us have some education time together. First of all, say hello to each other because we will disable the chat, so we will avoid people fighting, calling names, and that will lead YouTube to take our video down. So concentrate with us. We will keep the chat open when we have a chat time. Like yesterday, we have it twice. So we will make a time for where, we are just doing normal chat, nothing serious. And Muslims, they are welcome to post their comment to refute me. And as you see today, actually, I'm going to show the Muslim comments in the screen to show you how Muslims, they really, they have answers. I don't ever saw a Muslim, he don't have answers. Dawood saying to Christian prince, "You, the so-called prince, the biggest liar and deceiver." I don't know what I promise you or lie to you. Is it me who promised you version if you believe in me? Have you ever heard of a God? Like when we were kids, there is like the parents, they use a method. If you do this, I will do this to you. I will buy you ice cream. So your God, he think about you as a low IQ creature. And what is the ice cream? I wish it's an ice cream. Imagine there's somebody claimed to be God. He promised me a human being. She will be my sex slave. And then he promised you little boys who will be, according to Muslims and understanding supposedly, they will be serving you for eternity. Slavery in heaven, child abuse in heaven. Yeah, Allah is saying the truth. All right. Here we have another Muslim. You see, the Muslims, we talk about everything. They answer nothing of what we say in the video. And then they come to you with verses. They say, "Hey, CP, can you explain these verses?" And then say anything. Can you? Come on, you will go mute. Okay, what those verses? Look, everyone who divorce his wife and marry another commit adultery, and he who marries a woman divorced from her husband commit adultery. Can you explain that? Yes, Aziz, we can, even though you are not asking to be explained, because I'm sure you ask this question 25 times a day to Christians and they answer you, but you repeat it because you are empty vessel. The Bible, Jesus, he forbid people from divorcing women unless they commit adultery. And adultery had many aspects in Christianity. As an example, like the Bible says in the Old Testament that the earth commit adultery. The earth. But can the earth, is adultery something sexual? Adultery is any sin, let us say, serious one against God. So the Jews before, they used to do the same as Muslims today. They marry the women, and when she get older, she don't look as before, they divorce her and get a brand new one, younger one. So Jesus, he noticed them, how greedy and how they are abusing the marriage. The marriage is not a marriage no more. Women are treated badly. So Jesus, he forbid men from abusing women and divorcing them unless she cheated on you. And cheating can be in many ways, It can be like physically. It can be by leaving you. If a man, his wife, she left you, what he can do, right? So if you marry a woman and she is divorced for such a reason, then you are marrying an adulterer. This is what the verse is saying. So you are silly as you like your prophet, but I understand. Then wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. Right? So you Muslims now against that the man is the head of the house. The Bible confirm that the man is the head of the house and women are obedient to their husband, but by love, not by slavery. Which means the Bible says that the Messiah said to us that the man, he have to love his wife the same and sacrifice to her the same as the Messiah, he sacrificed to the church. So the Messiah, he made the women equal to the church. And the man who is the head of the house does not mean he is the head to abuse, he is head to serve. So he's asking me, can you explain that? The question is now, if I give you the same question, actually, we did not give you a question about the same comment you made about Luke. What is the view of Muslims of women she cheat? Just to show you that your prophet, he is a copy of Christianity and Judaism. And just to show you that Muslims are a bunch of ignorant when it's come to their religion. If you go to the yellow pages of Muhammad, so-called Quran, you will see the following. Just to show you that when we speak to Muslims, they have no idea what Islam is about. They are just copy-paste. This is your prophet copying Jesus. I mean, have you ever seen ignorance like this? This is chapter 24, verse number 3. Let no man guilty of adultery or fornication marry, but a woman of similar guilt. And here you notice that Jesus, he forbid that. Muhammad, he make it like a corporation of adultery. So look what you are complaining about. And let me ask you here now. You are complaining about Jesus saying that the man who marry, obviously an adulterer, he is committing adultery. And now your prophet saying that a man who want to marry, if he is an adulterer, he have to marry an adulterer like him. I want to ask you, what is the wisdom? What is the wisdom? That will provide or deliver to us nice family and kids of two parents who they are fornicators and adulterers. At least have one in the family, he can fix things. So now we have two parents who they are, according to the verse here, they are bad. And here you will see that unbeliever should not marry anyone except a unbeliever like them. And later Muhammad, he changed his mind about the unbeliever and he ordered the Muslims, you can marry Christians. Because Muhammad is a fraud. I mean, how God, he says something in the morning and he changed his mind afternoon. If marrying a unbeliever is sin, well, it should stay sin. The Muslim, they will say to you, oh, this verse is abrogated. And the God who abrogated himself, he found himself mistakenly making orders, and then he abrogate his order. And remember, this is not abrogation between two prophets, like there's a centuries between them, so what it was for a certain time is not good for a certain time. This is the same guy, the same, you know, many of the verses, he made them in the morning, he changed them afternoon. So what you are complaining about, your prophet, he's trying to copy from the Bible, but he, as usual, because he is you know, and by the way, as long the one who commit adultery, he cannot marry anyone except the one who commit adultery like him. So why Muhammad marry Aisha? Aisha, she was a child, she did not commit adultery. Your prophet is adulteress. And the Quran speak about that. Did your prophet go to the house of his own son and he flirt with the wife which he is married? And this is according to you Muslims, flirt. With who? With the wife of his son. Well, according to Jesus Christ, the God who we worship, that is a form of adultery. The man who wish a woman, she is not his, he committed sin. Adultery. So here you see that your prophet, he is a fornicator, he raped women, he kidnapped women from their husbands. And then, like Safiya as an example, and then he speak about fornication. Fornicator should not marry unless a fornicator. and then you are complaining about what is written in the Bible. Let us go back to the comment section so we can love more. Then he says, you're talking about submit to your husband, right? So which one is better? A woman should be obedient to her husband, or the Quran saying beat your wife if she don't obey you? Just to show you the hypocrisy of the Muhammadan. Jesus, he said that the woman, she should obey her husband, but the husband, he should give himself, sacrifice himself to the wife, the same as Christ sacrificed himself to the church. Let us see the value of women. What return women she will get in Islam when she is obedient? Nothing. You are just one of many wives. He can exchange you. He can even text you he can divorce you by text message. So if we go here, you will see the Quran teaching us that not only the women have to be obedient, if they are not, we can beat them. So I'm not sure you are complaining about what. You are a follower of religion, not only forcing the women to be obedient to the husband, you are saying if she don't obey you, beat the hell of her. And the Muslims in their translation, they try to make it look nicer. And like there's a woman, her name Armstrong, she is a fraud. She starts saying, oh, the word udrubuhunna means stay away from them, you idiot. It says there already, stay away from them. Jail them in their beds. And the Muslims, to make it nicer, they say, first, admonish them. Next, refuse to share bed with them. And at least, beat them, and they put between the bracket lightly. I mean, does the Quran say the word lightly? No. Is it between two brackets because it's not in the Quran? Yes. So why you say lightly? If Allah himself, he did not say lightly, how this has become lightly? We can show you from the hadith how Muhammad, he took a side of a man, he did beat his wife until he made her skin greener than her clothes. What? Greener. And we can show you a first-hand witness, the wife of Muhammad, the woman you almost worship, her name is Aisha. Why you appreciate too much Aisha? Because Muhammad, he liked children's to be his wife. Aisha said, not Christian Prince, I have not seen any women suffering as much as I believe in women. So Aisha, she is witnessing the most suffering women ever. It's not the Christians. It's not those who worship idols. It's not the Hindus. It's not the Buddhas. It is a believing women. Where is the suffering coming from? Look, her skin greener than her clothes. And then Muhammad, what he said to her? Muhammad, he said to her, well, you know what? The husband, he told him, well, you know, she's trying, she want to get back to the previous husband. She did not cheat yet. She's not cheating with anyone, but she don't. The reason of this story, because Muhammad, he made a stupid rule in the Quran. If a man, he divorced his wife 3 times, the woman, she cannot get back to the husband unless she go and have sex with a new husband. Can you believe it? So now this woman, she been divorced by her husband 3 times. And now she have to follow the rules of Islam. She is a Muslim. What is the rules? Well, you have to find a new guy. He do boom boom to you. And then after he do boom boom to you and he divorce you, you can get back to your previous husband. So this woman, she is avoiding to have boom boom with this guy. She married him just for the purpose, obviously, to get back to the previous husband. It's like, you know, playing the trick of law, going around it. If a husband divorces his wife, all right, he cannot after that remarry her until she has married another husband and he has divorced her. So if your father, he divorced your mother, she have to find a guy. She have to go find somebody, maybe in Facebook, and say, who is willing to have boom boom with me? So you marry me for a few days and then divorce me, and then I can go back to my husband because I have children. I need to take care of them. What kind of logic? This is a pure fornication. This is just a pure fornication. The Muslim, they will say to you, oh no, you see, the husband here, he abused the divorce right. So he divorced her 3 times. So Allah wanna teach him a lesson. So you cannot get her back until she sleep with other one, and he will be upset. For his wife is my friend, the one who is sleeping is his wife, not him. This guy, he don't care already. If he care, he will not do that. Secondly, I mean, how stupid that is to force a woman to sleep with a new man, and you are saying this is a punishment for the husband. Is that how you fix a marriage? Go find a new boyfriend? Do boom boom? So what happened in the story here, the woman, she did marry this guy so she can get back to her husband, previous husband, but she don't want to do the boom boom part. And then Muhammad, he said to her, look carefully. He said to her, well, if this is your intention, to get back to your husband, previous husband, Rif'a, to remarry Rif'a, you cannot do that. Then you know that it's unlawful for you to remarry Rif'a unless Abdul Rahman had sexual intercourse with you. It's a condition. You have to take off your panty. You want to get back to the previous husband? You have to take off your panty. I mean, can you believe that this is a prophet of God and there is somebody believe that this guy is a prophet? Is that a hippie prophet? What is this? And the translation, by the way, is absolutely false, because in Arabic it doesn't say until you have intercourse with her or with him. No. It says until he tastes your juice, your sexual juice. And you taste his sexual juice. So obviously Islam is a perverted cult. While Christ is forbidding people from doing anything, even close to that, even looking is a sin. Which means all of us, we commit sin. This is how far we are from God. So from the highest standard of the teaching of Christ to the trashy standard of Muhammad. You cannot get back your husband unless you boom boom with someone else. What is that? And did Muhammad say to him, why you beat her? He did not even question the beating. Actually, he gave him the verse saying, and those women who you fear disobedience, beat them. The Muslim, they lie, they say obedience here about cheating. You're a liar. In Islam, cheating, the punishment is death, supposedly. But even that is impossible to prove, because your prophet, he wanted to escape from the cheating part of his wife Aisha. So he made it 4 witnesses, and they have to see the private part of the man going in and out, which is impossible. Imagine you go to the bedroom, you find your wife with a guy, and they are doing whatever. And then what you can do? You cannot accuse her of fornication. You have to call 4 people. And the 4 people come. And then the 4 of them, they have to see his private part, excuse my language, going in and out. How you can prove that? How you can see that? There's a guy who saw a man having sex with a woman, and he described that he saw her legs like a horn or like the ears of a donkey behind the head of the man. You know what position we are talking about. Still, the Caliphate beat him because he said to him, did you see that thing going in? Did you see it going in and out? He said, no, this is what I saw. He said, see, there's no adultery. I mean, his legs around his head. Her legs is around his head. He is in the top of her. And the Caliphate, he said to him, did you see it in and out? He said, no. He said, okay, there's no adultery. And he did beat him. He did lash him. This is your cult. And why he did lash him? Because he did not give a proof. What is the proof? So Muhammad, he made it impossible to prove any cheating. Chapter 24, verse number 4. And those who launches a charge against chaste women and produce not 4 witnesses, flog them with 80 stripe. 4 witnesses. I mean, look at this. You can prove a man killed a man by 2 witnesses. Muhammad, he make it 4 witnesses in order to defend his wife. The Muslim, they would say this verse came after his wife or before his wife. You know, when the Muslim, they say before and after, I love, because we have a proof that all this before and after is messed up. Secondly, I challenge you to stay with the proof of before and after, because that will be used against you in different issues. So this is Islam, and this is Islam of fornication. You see, there's a huge difference between like a human being, you know, all of us, we are human, we do sin, but this guy claimed to be a prophet of God, and he is, you know, and this is the word of God. This is God himself talking, supposedly. And then this God, he is saying that you need to bring 4 witnesses to prove chastity, to prove adultery. So anytime you have to go to your wife, you have to go with 4 people. And not only that, I mean, I don't want to speak in a bad language, but imagine the women, I don't know how to say this. Imagine she is having sex, but she is covered. Let us say they are under blanket. That means you saw nothing, even if you have 4 witnesses. The second is not in and out. It's mean that there is no proof. That's it. You're you know, you can. And not only that, Muhammad, he have a very weird rules. As an example, if you discover that your wife, let us say you got 4 witnesses, and you were able to prove that your wife, she was sleeping around, and you were able to prove that all the kids you have, they are not your kids. Guess what? According to Muhammad, that the son belonged to the bed, not to the real father. What does that mean? That's mean if I go sleep with your wife, and your wife, she have a child from me, my child is going to inherit your money. Still, he is your son, you like it or not. Even if you have a mountains of evidence that the child is not your son. And here you notice the contradiction of these rules with what Muhammad, he said that adoption is not right. Because isn't it, this is a form of adoption? And here you notice too how dangerous that is. If you have a wife, she cheated on you, and you are a Muslim, and now she gave you, let us say, a son or a daughter, let us say a daughter. Isn't it dangerous to leave the daughter of the one who slept with your wife in your bedroom? Because she is not your daughter. How Islam justify that a strange child can be in the lap of a strange man who is already angry so much from that child, for he is the fruit of cheating? You can imagine what will happen to this child as a part of revenge if this person, he decide to be evil. So when a Muslim, he complain, we love. And not to forget to mention, at least here this child is a child of a stranger, but from your wife, but Muhammad, he forced you to adopt him by name, which means he is going to inherit you. But what about having sex with your own children? If you remember, the Muslim, they speak about that the daughters of Lot, they have sex with their father. You see, the Bible report what people do. But the Bible does not say that they are good women. The Bible does not say, oh, God told them do that. So if I do something, and let us say I was exist in that time. This guy, he'd committed adultery, and they wrote about this person. Let us say it's me. That doesn't mean that God told me. They are reporting a story, history. The Muslim, they make a big story about it. Okay, no problem. What about I show you right now that you can have sex with your daughter? If she is a daughter from adultery. Your daughter from your blood. If you go in the Quran, you will find a verse speak how Allah he considered the lineage between father and son, father and daughter. Chapter 25 verse number 54. وهو الذي خلق من الماء بشرا فجعله نسبا وصهرا. It is he who created from water a man, and he made it a lineage by marriage. What does that mean? According to the Sharia law, if you are a son of someone, let us say your father, he slept with your mother, but they are not married, you cannot carry the father name. You cannot inherit him. But the irony is, as we showed you, you can carry the money of somebody and his name even if he's not your father, just because the husband he was married to your mother, who she slept with different man. Do you see the stupidity? So here you can, in this case here, a man is sleeping with your mother. I'm not talking about anyone, I'm just giving you an example. And he make her have you. You will have the money of this man and you will inherit his name, for the child belong to the bed owner, not to the real father. In the other scenario, the child will not inherit anything, even if he is the real child, because he is not from marriage. What is that? And then if you go and read the interpretation, you will find the interpretation saying clearly that this is about the following. If a man have sex with a woman from adultery, and she have a daughter from him, he can have sex with the mother and her daughter. And you know, because I know the Muslims will say this is not a true CP. So what about we show that it is true? Shall we? You know them. It's not a true. Nothing is true. This is the official government website of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I remember I said to myself I will make a short video. I don't know how I can do that. And this is the interpretation. It says قال ابن العربي النسب عبارة عن خلط الماء بين الذكر والأنثى على وجه الشرع، فإن كان بمعصية كان خلقا مطلقا ولم يكن نسبا محققا، ولذلك لم يدخل تحت قوله حرمت عليكم أمهاتكم وبناتكم بنته من الزنا، لأنها ليست ببنت له في أصح القولين علماء وأصح القول في الدين. وإذا لم يكن نسبا شرعا فلا صهر شرعا، فلا يحرم الزنا، يحرم الزنا بنت ولا بنت. So she is not forbidden from you, your daughter, to have sex with her. And now they can say whatever they want. I can click like just translate to English. For sure Google will not give us good translation, but better than nothing, you know. The lineage is referred to mixing water between male and female according to the manner of Sharia. And if it was a sin, which means that the result of this thing, which means the fornication, it's absolutely a creation, not established lineage. Even the stupid translation of Google is coming fine. Therefore, it did not come under saying your mother and your daughter are forbidden for you. The Quran forbid you from having sex with your daughter, but not if she is a daughter from fornication, as you see. And this is the most accurate statement of the scholars. And if there is no lineage, which forbid by law, which means you cannot have sex with your daughter, then adultery is not forbidden with the girl and the mother of the girl. The girl of who? Your daughter. How this can be from God? You tell me. How evil, how disgusting. So when two women in the Old Testament, they have sexual intercourse with their father, and not because they are horny, but because there's no men around and they were afraid, they will never have children and they will die in the wilderness alone. The Muslim, they speak about it non-stop. The Bible, did you see the Bible story in the Bible? First, this is a story of two women, they did something. Not God said to them, it's not God who appeared to them. He said, hey women, I want you today to have sex with your father. I mean, shameful. Here we find a God saying to the Muslims, go and have sex with your own daughter if she is a daughter from adultery. And this is a warning for those who want to take a, there's people who they are not religious, they don't care for religion, they don't give, and they go and have a Muslim boyfriend. A Muslim boyfriend, he can have sex with his daughter. And I show it to you on the screen. So when the Muslims, they come to us and say, can you refute this? Can you answer this? I find it hilarious how silly what they say. Let us see if we can find more comment. We will take one or two from each Muslim. Let us see. I'm just looking for a Muslim comment. Most of them, they are just calling me names, as usual. Okay, let us see what this Muhammadan is saying. You are trying to sell a narrative in the incredibility convoluted the deity of Jesus Christ. Does not make sense. My friend, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense that Jesus is God, but it makes sense that Jesus is still alive until now. It doesn't make sense that Jesus is God, but it makes sense that Jesus have no father in Islam. It doesn't make sense that Jesus is not God, but Jesus can make from the mud the bird and he make it fly. It makes sense. I mean, all of us, we can do that. It doesn't make sense that Jesus is God, yet he is a human by the flesh, but he can do what nobody can do, including tell you what you heard and what you did in the unseen. Look who is talking about making sense. A person who believes that his God will make him have an endless private part. It makes sense that you are in the earth, but your private part in the galaxy number 7. I hope you will not hit any spaceship now, or destroy any satellite with your private part. A Muslim talking about making sense. It doesn't make sense. A person who believes that in heaven there is a bazaar, a market, which there's no buying nor selling except women pictures and men pictures. And if you like the picture, you go inside it and have sex with it. They talk about making sense. Okay. And then he says, God is one. Well, you idiot, we Christians, we believe that God is one anyway. However, God is one, God is two, God is four, God is five. That is a very silly argument if you come to, let us say, the conclusion. Let us say, there is some people believe God is 7. And their belief is true. And which means, let us say, they prove that there are 7 gods. And there's a person who believes in one God. And because they are the one who have 7 gods, they prove that they are right. That means the one who have one God, he's wrong. Because there's 7 gods. So who cares? The question is, can this God can be true? 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 7? I mean, this is very silly people. And we are the one who believe in the oneness of God. It's not you. We have one God. You Muslims don't believe in one God. And we can prove it all over. If you believe in one God, Then there's a questions we need to ask about this oneness of God. Is your Allah and his knowledge is one? You will say no. If you say yes, you are in trouble. Is Allah and the Quran is one? You will say no. Is the Quran created by Allah? You will say no. So now we have two uncreated beings. I mean, so we can go on and we will find that Muslims, they have an empty phrase of God is one. But if you go in details, you will find that Allah have a shin. Is the shin of Allah is Allah? Or it's just a part flying in the space? Is the hands of Allah is Allah? Is the eyes of Allah is Allah? If you say yes, well, so why you are upset from a man who is God? Because for us, by the way, we don't believe that man is a God. We believe God became a man. And there's a huge difference. God is almighty, and because he's almighty, he can come in any way he wants. If he cannot be, then he cannot be God. Actually, in the previous comment, a Muslim, he said, full God, full man, that doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense then that the Spirit of Allah came to Mary as a perfect man, and that makes sense to you? Is he perfect angel now? You see here, the Muslim, they false translation, they said, we sent her an angel. Nowhere it says the word angel in translation. This is why you cannot trust the Muslim translation. In Arabic it says, فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا. We sent to her our spirit. You change the translation right away, you will find a new Quran. Because all Islamic translation is a fraud. This is why if you ask any Muslim, which translation you accept, he don't accept anyone. Because he knew that all those translation is meant for sell out. Islam is like run by a business dealer, a car dealer. He want to sell out the car for you. So look here what happened. We just changed the translator. We sent to her our ruh. Ruh means spirit. Between two brackets, Angel Jibreel. And he appeared to her in a perfect form of all respect of man. So if Jesus cannot be God and man, well, that means Jibreel cannot be God and man too. So here you see how silly the logic of Muslims. You know, the name of my video, 7 mind-blowing scientific. All of this is scientific. You see, we are discussing how Muslims they see science. Now, if we go to the science of the Muslims in the Quran, we will die laughing. We will die laughing. Let us show you. This is a Muslim website giving you 7 mind-blowing scientific facts. Take note of facts, the word facts. In the Quran, okay, what those facts are. It's a fact? Yes, brother. We are familiar with the Bible account of a creation. God created the world in 6 days, rested in the 7. He assigned Adam, the first man, to rule over his earthly creation, while most of account is accepted within Islam. Quran goes one step farther. Really? How is that? Chapter 41, verse number 11. Then he turned to heaven when it was a smoke, and he said into it and to the earth, come both of you willingly or loth. The description of the creation or pre-creation heaven as a smoke is significant as a modern blah 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 blah. So this is what smoke here means. There was nothing. And secondly, look what you did. I mean, just to show you how Muslims they say that science says that heaven was a smoke. Heaven was a smoke. Which science says that? Secondly, you will notice here that he quote for us at chapter 41 verse number 11, but he did not quote for us the verses before, because the earth is finished. This is why the verse saying in his translation, and Allah, he said to them, and to the earth, come both. So the earth was exist. So the heaven was not created yet, it was a smoke, and there's earth. This is scientifically amazing fact. This is the translation you choose for us. So there was a smoked heaven and there was an earth. And then they will say to you, the Quran speak about the Big Bang. I mean, it is hilarious how silly Islam is. If I go right now to chapter 41 verse number 11, you will die laughing at the stupidity of the Quran. Actually, let us do it. Why not? We are here, right? Let us do it. You will notice that the Muslim, they quote for you a verse out of the space. They did not quote all the verses before it which have about the creation, because in this chapter it says that Allah created the earth in 2 days. And then he put mountains, he placed mountains in the top of the earth. Mountains are rocks placed in the top of the earth, according to the Quran. And then he made all the measurement of the earth, like water, trees, etc., in 4 days. And then the sky, he went to a sky, and the sky was a smoke. So the earth is finished, totally finished, and the sky is still smoke. And then Allah, he said to the smoke and to the earth, come willingly. If there's nothing, it's smoke. And then Allah, the last thing he did, he created the skies. Because the sky, verse number 11, it was a smoke. And then he finished it in 2 days. So do you see how they lie? And not to forget to mention that this is a total contradiction of chapter number 71, which is hilariously made by someone called Allah. He don't remember which one he finished first. As you see here, Allah, he finished all the work of the earth. Verse number 9, verse number 10, and then verse number 11, it says there's nothing in the sky. A smoke sky. And then he made the stars. So here we have the earth is created, verse number 9. We have mountains is created after creating the earth in 2 days, and trees are created after creating the mountains. And then after that, then he went to the heaven. And hold on, Allah is moving in the space of the heaven? I thought Allah cannot be inside his creation. I thought Allah is Akbar. And look here how he translated that. Then he turned, like he was moving right and left. How they lie. Stawa, he left up, he rose up. Liars. I mean, it's hilarious how they try to make their religion. It's not a religion. It's a collection of madness. So, if you put the stages, I advise any one of you, especially if you're new, you never saw this before, print or open 2 pages, chapter 41 and chapter 79. And compare. What we will see. It is madness. It is literally a madness. So when the Muslims, they say to us, actually not, hold on, I chose the wrong verse. Let me show you first the first verse. Yeah, we can go to 79. It's okay. I mean, it's the same. If you read here, you will see that Allah, he was working in the sky first. Which one is more difficult to create? the heaven or and above, or or you, or wherever. Allah, He raised it as a canopy, and He has given it order and perfection. Its night doth He endue with darkness. So now He created day and night. And after that, He finished the earth. And after that, He made the mountains and the water. Actually, the mountains is the last thing. But in the other verse, the mountain was the second step. And the funny, it says it clearly, and after that. And actually, here, it doesn't say after that in translation, and the earth move over. Moreover, change the translator just to show you how scam the translation of the Muhammadan. Change the translator. You change the translator, you will find a new Quran. It's a miraculous. And after that, do you see the after that? That's what it says in Arabic. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا. بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ, after that. So the Quran for sure is a book of science, and this God, He is so much scientific to the point He cannot remember which one He made first. This verse here says that Allah, He raised the sky. Verse before it says He created the sky. After that He raised it, which means the sky was down. And then He made day and night, which means He created the sun, etc. And after that, He made the earth flat. By the way, they say He spread the earth. No, it doesn't say spread the earth. It says He made the earth flat. And after that, He made water and pasture. And after that, He made the mountains. But if we go to the other verse, it says the opposite. 100% opposite. I mean, what's wrong with this Quran? Here, He created the earth in 2 days. Chapter 41, verse number 9. Here, second after that, He placed the mountains. Okay, hold on. Let us take a note. The first thing Allah, He worked in is the earth. Chapter number 41, verse number 9. The second thing He worked in is placing the mountains and making the measure of the earth, like water, etc. And until now, the heaven was smoke. Then He completed the heaven, and He made them 7 heavens, and He made the stars. And we adorned the nearest lowest heaven with the lamps, which means according to Islam, the lowest heaven only have stars. The rest are not. Take a note. So what is the last thing Allah, He did here? What is the first thing? Take a note. The first thing, He created the earth. The second thing, He made the mountains and created trees and water. Let us go to the other verse, shall we? The first thing He created is the heaven. Then He raised it above. Then He made day and night. And after that, He started working in the earth. He made it flat. And after that, He made the water and the grass. And after that, He put the mountains. So the mountains was the last step He do after He finished everything, including the sky. In the other verse is the opposite. Scientific, my friend. Who can beat such a science? I'm going to stop here. I just wanted to share some thought with you, and I apologize for the text is disabled because we don't want people to be calling each other names, and YouTube will take advantage of that, or Muslims, we can take our videos down. So download the video, share it with your friends. All my videos are for free. You can add subtitle in your language. Help your people to understand how stupid this cult is. Those videos are priceless for those who care for knowledge. You don't want your son one day to come to you and says, hey dad, I want to join Taliban. Hey dad, I want to become a Muslim. Then it's going to be too late for you to convince him that Islam is a stupid cult, especially you don't have the skills. So here we are sharing the skills and the knowledge so you can do it easy. Give your children the vaccine against such a cult. This is a very dangerous cult. You join it, suddenly you are angry from everybody, everybody is against you. This is what the Quran teach you. Islam teach conspiracy, that everyone is against Muslim and Muslims should kill everyone because everyone is against them. Muhammad, he made it so clear that he don't want the Christians and the Muslim to be friends. This is why he said in the Quran, chapter 5, verse number 51, take not Christians and Jews as a friends. Why? Because the Quran don't want us to be friends, which Muhammad planned. He want Muslims to hate us. He want us to hate the Muslims too. We will not hate the Muslims. You should not. If you do hate them, you fail in the trap of the devil, Muhammad. Be Christian and love them. And the best way to love somebody is to save him from evil. Deliver him out of evil. Oh, you believe, take not the Jews and the Christians as a friends, protectors, helpers. They are but friends to each other. He don't want us to be friends. Actually, even Muhammad, he don't want you to be friend to your own family. So he said, you will not find one believer he would love those who oppose Allah, even if they are his own family. Muhammad, he wanted to be sure that hate is in this earth, and hate is ruling, and blood is shedding. O Muhammad, you will not find any people who believe in Allah and the last days making a friendship with those who oppose Allah and his messenger, even though they are their fathers and their sons and their brothers and their people and your mother, etc. Even if they are your family, you cannot make a friendship with them. You cannot love them. Evil religion. While Jesus saying, love your enemy, pray for them, plus those who curse you. Muhammad saying, curse them, kill them, don't be friend with them, hate them, even if they are your father, even if they are your mother, even if they are children's. For Muhammad is a hate monger. And we as a Christian, we should not be hate mongers, because if we do, we become like Muhammad. So we will never hate the Muslims. We hate evil. You do evil, we hate what you do. But I believe strongly, me myself, that Muslims are victims of this evil man. He used them to conquer. He used them for his sexual desire. This is why you see his wife, she says, Inni ara rabbuka yusari'u ila hawaka ya Muhammad. I see that your God, he rushed into your temptation, Muhammad. Muhammad, he have a desire. And Aisha, she noticed that if Muhammad, he wants something, especially if it's sexual, let me find the hadith. Right away, Allah is there. Immediately. And Muhammad's desire is always about sex and about money. So look what Aisha said to him. I felt jealous of women who offer themselves to the Allah Messenger. Why they are offering themselves? Because Muhammad, he made a verse in the Quran saying, any woman she want to do boom boom with me, she is welcome. All cult leaders, you can go right now search on YouTube, there's many of them. All cult leaders, they share one thing. They sleep with their followers and they claim that this is an honor. Not only with one, it's like, you know, it's a guy, he's a cult leader, he like a woman, or he loved her, let us say, and he slept with her. No, they sleep with all the women. They want to sleep with everybody. So Muhammad, he made a verse in the Quran saying, any woman, she can give herself to the Prophet so she can do boom boom. And Aisha, she's a woman, she noticed that this is not right. So look what she says here. I feel jealous of women who offer themselves to the Messenger of Allah, and said, then when Allah exalted the glorious, revealed this, you may differ any of them and as you wish. Women are lined up to have sex with Muhammad. So Muhammad, he look at them, those women, so many of them, they are not good looking. So he said to himself, what I did. He just made a verse saying any woman she can give herself. And now they are lined up. And the reason they are lined up, because if you sleep with Muhammad, you became protected. You will have food forever until you die. It's like a retirement plan. So women are lined up. Many of them, they are not good looking. And Muhammad, he want to get rid of them. So he made another verse saying that Allah told him, you may differ, any of them, as you wish. It's like a wish, you know, like it's a potato. Pick one. Which one you like? The one you like, sleep with her now. You don't like, let her go. So Aisha, she said here, when this verse says, and take yourself as you any wish, and if you desire any, you have set aside, because you long line, no sin chargeable to you, no sin. Sleep as many you want. Like, come on, it's halal. Aisha, she said, it seems to me that your Lord hastened to satisfy your desire. Hasten. He rushed to your sexual desire, Muhammad. Allah is a sexual desire, let us say, vendor specialty. He's there just to, he's watching Muhammad. Muhammad, he want to have sex? Okay, I will send him a verse. He want more women? I will send him another verse. Oh, those women are not looking good. I will send him a verse says you can choose whatever you want. You don't have to sleep with all of them. Isn't it obvious that this person is evil? Is making things up? And Aisha, she got him busted? It sounds to me that your Lord has to satisfy your desire, Muhammad. I mean, what kind of God this God is? What kind of a prophet he say, hey women, any woman she want to sleep with me? What's wrong with you? It's okay to say that. So the Muhammadan, they decide to follow a man like this, who make verses that women, they are welcome to sleep with him. And this is only a privilege to him. Only to him. Privilege about money. Not only that, there is a privilege, Muslim they count about, you know, some they count 16, some they count 50, 100 privilege of Muhammad. So you will find that most of the privilege is about money and sex. As an example, one of the privilege, and we made a video about it before with the translation, where if Muhammad, his eyes fall into a woman, her husband must divorce her. So the prophet, he can have her. And this is exactly what he did with his own son wife. So my friend, I find that there's a mind-blowing evidence. Scientific evidence. Because everything we showed you now is scientifically proven to be true. How that have to do with science? I mean, you show us hadith and Quran. Well, aren't you Muslim? You say there's a science of the hadith and science of the Quran. All what we showed you is scientific evidence from a book you approve to be scientific and approved and authentic. Your God cannot remember even what he created and when he created. Not to forget all the other stupid things in the Quran. So, this is your book. It's mind-blowing stupidity. It's called Quran. It's mind-blowing fraud. It's called Muhammad. It's mind-blowing sexuality cult. It's mind-blowing God who don't have a mind, or his mind is like a child, who come with rules which is the most stupid. Like if your wife get divorced from you 3 times, she have to have sex with a new guy before she get back to you. If you have sex with your own or a girlfriend, you can have sex with the mother and her daughter, even if she is your daughter. If a man have sex with your wife, the son of the wife is your son, even if this is the son of your enemy. If the prophet, his eyes fall into a woman, her husband must divorce her. And when you go to heaven, brother, Allah will make for us a lot of Barbies who scientifically proven to be so beautiful. To the point, the prophet, he said, they will be transparent. Yes, brother. Transparent. We will see the marrow of their bones. How beautiful. All my life, I wanted to have a wife. She looked like a jellyfish. This is a religion? Isn't it this is a mind-blowing, stupid promise? But because Muhammad is a racist and the Arab is racist, until now nothing changed. We Arab are racist. There's a video of Muslims insulting a guy, his name Samir Abdullah. They are talking about his white wife, you know, and they are offering her to find a new husband. They are jealous from him because he have a white wife. Why? Because they are racist. White wife? He have a white wife, brother. Are you sure? Yes, very, brother. No, go watch the video. His white wife. Who will be beautiful, so beautiful? Pure, transparent, that the marrow of the bones of their legs will be seen through. Now, for sure, it's very hard for you to imagine how sexy is that. But we can help you as last thing we do before we leave. Oh boy. One more to go. I want to learn how to make short video. I think the only way to make short video, if I record it in advance, make it just 15 minutes and just hang up. That's it. So brothers and sisters, you are going to have a beautiful wife. She is transparent. She's so beautiful. She is sexy and you know it. And then a Muslim, he make a comment about Christianity does not make sense. While Jesus said in heaven, he and she, they will not get married. They will be the same as angels. Why? Well, you will be in the presence of God. And at the same time, God will give you different nature, which is more happy than the nature of a human being. If food make you happy, can God make us better creature? Can be happy with better things? If sex make you happy, can God who gave you sex, the pleasure of sex, can give you better pleasure? If heaven is going to be the same as the earth, then nothing changed. But because Muhammad is so racist and he is obsessed with white women, and the reason he said you can see the marrow of their bones, he's speaking about how white they are. If you are a white or a white friend so white, you will find that white people who they are very white, you can see the veins inside their skin. Why? Because they are so white. That will not happen for a person who have dark skin. You will not be able to see the veins inside. You will see even the color of the blood. So Muhammad, because he knew that the Arab are racist, and he is a racist, obsessed with the white women, so he promised them women, they are so white, not normal white. This is why they will be transparent. And then they give us a speeches about what makes sense. Anyway, you might find something useful with this promise. At least if your wife, she wanna go away with your phone in her back, you can see through. Or she got your credit card or your wallet in her jeans, you can see through. And that is the benefit, you know. Obviously, you can see even what she ate, even the hamburger which is missing in the refrigerator, you can see it. So we cannot say Muhammad was negative in this point. He got a point, sister. Thank you very much for listening. Download the video, share it, and keep it. And teach your children before it's too late. Otherwise, your children, they go to school, they meet with Muslims, and Muslims are very well trained to attack Christianity. And your children, they have no idea. Why? Because sadly, our churches, they teach nothing about cult, and they don't even teach anything about Christianity. It's just a place of worship. It's a place of routine, sadly. It's not a place of education. Jesus used to stand and teach and preach, and all the disciples. And the preaching is not only about, oh, just obey God. No, they were refuting people, debating people. Jesus, he said to the Jews, what do you say of Christ? Whose son he is opening a debate statement. Today what we see a priest collecting salary, and he read from a book written by somebody about a speech. A speech written by somebody 20 years ago. Speech, not from the Bible. And then he teach you, and you learn nothing. So here we do what is missing in the churches. This is a classroom should be exist in every church. Every church should have a classroom to teach about cults, like Jehovah's Witnesses, Islam, etc. So your children will not be misled. Take the vaccine. And this is our vaccine given to you for free. Thank you. God bless you.